Is Maduro's capture about drugs or is it about oil? Let's tell you a story. The global oil game is still about who produces the most. And right now, the United States is firmly on top. Let's show you the numbers. The United States producing about 14.8 billion barrels per day, the world's largest oil producer as of now, followed by Saudi Arabia. Let's show you the numbers, 12.4 billion barrels per day, and then followed by Russia, 11.2 billion barrels per day. But production numbers alone don't tell the full story because not all oil is the same, and having more oil doesn't automatically mean having the right oil. And now that distinction is what drives the next infographic that I want to show you. Let's get you the next infographic. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at this particular map, there are three kinds of oil. You have light oil, medium oil, heavy oil. And America's refining backbone sits in the Texas-Louisiana belt. And these refineries, and all the refineries are in this belt. And these refineries designed decades ago to process heavy crude, not light shale oil, but heavy crude oil. Now, geography matters here when you look at where the refiners are placed and how strategically close they are to Venezuela. Venezuela sits closer than any other heavy crude giant, making it a natural supplier to America refiners built for this specific oil type, which is the heavy oil. And that takes me to our next information graphic. Here's the contradiction at the heart of the US energy dominance. American shale production mostly produces light crude, but US refineries can't run efficiently on light oil alone, and that's why heavy oil imports are actually increasing. Because without heavy crude, and let's look at the numbers. Look at the heavy oil dependence of America over the years. The brown graph that you see here increasing from 1978 in the statistics released by the US Energy Information Administration. The dependence of heavy oil, the imports of heavy oil are at their highest as we speak right now. Now, these massive refineries that America has built simply don't work at full capacity if there is no heavy oil. And that is why it is important right now that America gets heavy oil. So let's move to the next infographic. When it comes to heavy oil, Venezuela sits right at the top of the global list, alongside Canada, alongside Russia, alongside China. But Venezuela stands out not just because of the scale, but because of the proximity of the heavy refiners, the Exxons, the Shells, all in the Texas-Louisiana belt, and how close they are to Venezuela. Closest major heavy oil producer to US refineries, making it strategically invaluable in any energy calculation. So it's not just a simple capture of Maduro. Let's tell you the story. It gets even better. And this is the real headline, ladies and gentlemen. Takes us to our next infographic. The headline is Venezuela doesn't just produce heavy oil, it holds the largest proven oil reserves on the planet. More than Saudi Arabia and Canada, and the issue isn't availability, it's access. Sanctions and politics have locked away reserves in Venezuela that could otherwise reshape the global oil flows overnight. Look at the sheer number, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at the number. Venezuela, as we speak, has the largest global reserve of 302,000 billion barrels. That's how much of oil is left. 300,000 billion barrels and more of oil, and they are right on top. All of this oil is waiting to be drilled. And what happens when you look at this particular infographic? Now, America has a problem with Venezuela. America has a problem with Canada. America has a problem with Iran. America has had a problem and has invaded Iraq in the past. And when you look at the history of America's relations with all these countries, it tells you one story. It's all about oil. And that is why when Maduro was captured, something happened in America. Let's show you the next infographic. Markets reacted instantly as geopolitics shifted Energy giants Exxon, Chevron, their shares surged, adding nearly $100 billion in combined value over the weekend. US oil stocks are already pricing in a long-term windfall because whenever oil access expands, big oil moves fast and Wall Street moves even faster. And the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of all of this, when you look at Maduro and Donald Trump, it's nothing to do with drugs. It's nothing to do with a crackdown on drugs. It's just about oil.